after problem statement, so we have discussed the business case, we have discussed the effective problem statement, which is 4W and 1H. Now we focus on the goal statement. In any project that you do, when you do a project, an IT project or a Six Sigma project or a PMP sort of view, any agile project, there should always be a goal statement, because if I don't know that how much I want to achieve, I would never be able to do it. If I tell my stakeholders that this is the problem that we're facing, 50%, 20% of my people are leaving within 6 months or leaving within a year's time. He said, okay, how much you can reduce it to? So until and unless I don't have a goal statement, I would not get a go ahead from my business head to do a project. So me as a project leader has to come up with a goal which would help me to achieve. So it has to be an audacious target, but it has to be a target which should be consensus with everybody. So therefore, to remove any sort of ambiguity, there is an approach which we use in the goal statement, and that approach is known as SMART goal. Okay, wherein S stands for specific. It's clearly defined and easy to understand, so that everybody understands what the goal is. It should be measurable. So obviously it is measurable. That's why it has reached to a stage that I want to reduce from 10% to 5%. Attainable. It should be influenced by the team. I should not take an aspirational target of such which my team won't be able to work on it. It shouldn't be that target that people get demotivated and never work. It should be an attainable target. It should be relevant. When I'm saying time bound, then you should be able to give a timeline that by when you would be able to finish it. Always remember, the goal statement should always start with a verb, like to improve, to reduce, to increase, to eliminate, right? So a perfect goal statement would be to improve the attrition percentage of operations department from 15% to 10% by 31st of December 2020. Okay, so if I meet this specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound components in the goal statement, then I would call it as a SMART goal statement. So when you're designing a business case, please ensure that you have all these in mind while doing it. It should always be time-bound. Okay. Then we focus on the milestones. Okay. So milestones are the ones that for each and every phase that we have, from define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, I need to give a milestone. This is like a project plan, a summary of project plan, but not a detailed project plan or a Gantt chart, wherein I should be able to mention that by when I would be able to complete the defined phase.
Maybe tentative dates.
Yes, that's what I'm coming on to. So defined phase should typically be completed within 2 weeks time, because there are certain activities to be done in the defined phase, which I'll talk about later after this. Okay. Measure phase typically should take 2 to 3 weeks, wherein we are trying to identify the cause of the problem and try to identify some other parameters. Analyze phase, where we do the hypothesis testing, the statistical test, and other stuff. That takes again 2 to 3 weeks. Improve phase will take typically between 4 to 8 weeks, because there are sometimes IT solutions, the structural solutions are getting deployed, some functionalities being added in the system. Sometimes there is a new tool is being developed, there's a new application is being developed. So therefore, improve phase takes a lot of time, and it requires a lot of time to identify which solution that we are going to deploy for this particular problem or this particular cause. And then define, measure, analyze, improve. And then for control, you should give at least 2 to 3 months to improve, to sustain. Okay. So that's how you should have the start time and the end time. So likewise, if you're starting a project on 1st of July, so 1st till 15th should be defined. 16th to maybe the first week of August should be a measure. You should give at least three weeks more for the analyze phase, because you do need to do a lot of tests, a lot of studies, a lot of things to get to the root cause. Then entire August and entire September and mid of October, you should give it for the improve phase. And then November, December, you should give for control at least. Okay. So this is how you should, when you prepare a project charter, you give a milestone, the start date and the end date for define, measure, analyze, improve, and okay. And there is a model which is known as known as ARMI model, which is called as Army model. This is a tool which help us to identify or gives the roles and responsibility of each and every team member in a given project. So wherein A stands for the approver, the one who's giving certain decisions, who's responsible for running the project successfully, who's giving approval at each and every stage. So he's the one who's giving approvals for the next phase, who's giving approvals for if there's any kind of a roadblock also. The resource is a person who is not part of the project throughout the journey from define to control, whose expertise is required on an ad hoc basis. It could be a person from an IT. It could be any cross-functional person who's specialized on a particular thing. It could be a person from a quality team also, who would help you with certain tools and techniques. Then the member of the person, member is the project leader and the cross-functional team members who's there in the project throughout. And I stand for interested party. This is typically the head of the department who is just required to be kept informed, the FYI. But sometimes when the approver is not able to support us or to extend any kind of help, then in that case, the interested party plays an important role. So this is kind of one level above the approver, which there are various. This is one of the CAPS tools. So CAPS stands for Change Acceleration Plan. Okay. So there is a tool called RASI also, RASI, which also works on the same principle. But you can use Army model, Army tool, to give a responsibility to each and every team member. So I'll show you the template of how does it look like and how you want to do it. So this is also one of the component of an Army, of a defined phase. So this is how the typically Army phase, Army model looks like. So now I want to tell you about the project sponsor, project champion, project leader, team members, and quality member. How does these people fits under ARM? Okay. So as I said, interested party. So there is a project sponsor who is the head of the department, or maybe the head of the function or head of a different business unit, who's a sponsor. So he's the one who's getting impacted, and that's why he wants this project to be done. So he's at the top. Project champion is one level below the sponsor. He's responsible for giving directions, removing roadblocks, giving certain approvals, which I just talked about. Project leader, as I said, is a member. The team members, the cross-functional team members, they are also member. And if there's any quality mentor, if any person who's giving an expertise, that is a resource. So this is how when you working on the define phase, you need to prepare a Army slide wherein you would give a responsibility of each and every team member, get an alignment with them. Please tell them what is expected out of this project so that they should be able to participate in each and every stage. Okay, so this is what we do it in the Army model. Any question so far? We have discussed a lot of topics. We have discussed the milestones. We discussed the Army model. Anything? Anybody has any question? Are we good so far?
Simranpreet, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a question. Like, so the racing model and the army model, we can use them interchangeably because they are more or less going for the similar kind of an idea in the define phase. Am I right? Just reconfirming.
Yes. Any of these you
Yeah.
can.
Okay.
So it is, the purpose remains the same. It's just that there are many models which are being created, but the most commonly used is the army model.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Somebody else also had a question. Please speak up.
Yeah, what's the difference between the resource and the member? Am I
Okay.
audible?
So yes, I got your question. You asked what's the difference between resource and team member. Okay. So likewise, when we do a project, let's say if I'm doing a project on improving the productivity of a customer service function. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I am just taking a hypothetical situation wherein I see that there is a project that I'm doing to uh, improve the productivity of an operations team. There is a customer service team, okay, who's part of operations, and I'm doing a project with them to improve the productivity. Their productivity is very low, and that's the reason uh, they are not meeting the customer requirement. The margins, the business margin is also very less. The efficiency is very low. There are lot many things are getting impacted. Now I identified a team, and I found that I should have people from different functions. Like I have people from finance because they are the ones who's generating the invoices. I have taken people from the uh, I've taken people from uh, the not from quality. I've taken people from the ordering team also, who is placing the order at first place. So they are various stages where the project. So I've taken people from billing team, wherever the customer stages it. So I've taken people from everywhere. So those all people are the members, because the customer journey start from placing the order, uh, selecting the requirements, selecting the design, then the billing department, then the customer service department, and then it ends. But yes, in between there are many more layers within the operations that I deal with. I deal with finance team, I deal with the ordering team, I deal with etc. All the teams. All these people who are part of the value chain are my members. But if there's any person, likewise quality or maybe IT, who's not part of the process, they are not part of the process anywhere. Without them, the transaction is taking place. But yes, as I know, I need some people who has an expertise which can help me to deliver this project successfully. Likewise, IT team, because they are the ones who will be developing applications, will be doing some structural solutions, they'll be coming up with some transformation. The quality team, they will be helping me in applying the right tools and techniques. They'll be reviewing whether I have done the root cause analysis in the right way or not. So those are the resource to the team. The ones who are part of the entire process journey from customer end to end, they are the member. Okay, so that's the difference between member and the resource. Resource is required not every time, only during some special requirements. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have covered the army, which is